Mueller's team is just making sure that the presidential executive orders are actually carried out.
The Trump administration might send $5,000 checks to millions of people next summer if Elon Musk and the Department of Government Efficiency get their way. Musk posted on X about the idea of a Doge dividend, which would give a 20% refund of savings from government spending cuts. James Fishback, CEO of Arizona Partners, proposed this idea, suggesting it as a tax refund, not a stimulus. So far, Doge claims to have saved $55 billion by canceling over 1,100 government contracts. The checks would go to about 79 million households that paid federal income tax. Each could get up to $5,000, but only if Doge reaches $2 trillion in spending cuts. The checks wouldn't arrive until July 2026. The plan would need congressional approval, and some Republicans may support it before the midterms. Unlike previous stimulus checks, Fishback argues this plan wouldn't fuel inflation, as the money would come from spending cuts, not new debt. The idea could face pushback, though, especially given the layoffs and protests against recent government changes. This comes at the same time when Doge has saved the government approximately $50 billion, as said by Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent.
I think I saw an estimate today of about $50 billion, so that's a very good start. And I don't think it's unreasonable to think that we could have several percent of GDP that we are saving.
All right, Shalom. Giving all praises to Yahweh Ba'ashem El Shai. A double honors to the apostles, bishops, and elders of Great Millstone. And Shalom to you, hopefully elect. I'm your brother Yahweh Call from Great Millstone, Orlando. And just to speak a few words dealing with this whole possible refund that supposedly they're considering. And even if it does come to pass, it's not set to take place until, next year. So, with that being said, to Jake, simple-minded Jake, you can hold your horses, don't get too excited like you did back in 2020 and 21 when not so coincidentally Trump was in office, and we're pretty much seeing a rerun of the same thing going into these refunds. All right, which this is all conditioning for something, because with all this being said, I don't trust it. Can't trust a damn thing Esau does. The scriptures say that 7 abominations are in his heart. No matter what he says, if he does good, he's doing it unwillingly. If he does good, he's going off. But make no mistake about it, because, if we do make it that far, and this does in fact come to pass, there's nothing wrong with taking this, taking the money or whatever, brothers and sisters back in 2020 and 21, you weren't off for accepting that money, but there's always going to be some type of strings attached to it. I remember going back, telling certain individuals, family members or whatnot, because of course, Jake, they don't know much of anything. And I remember telling them about how, don't get too excited, because with this money that they're pumping, expect the price of things to go up. And sure enough, well, I'm not going to say it's been a downward spiral, because America's been going down since the 60s. All right. But the process has definitely been expedited. It's definitely been sped up, just going back to the whole world crisis in 2020, starting in 2020, so with that being said, like I said, it's pretty much a rerun all over again. If this does in fact come to pass, because right now they're just considering, and like I was saying, don't you're not off for accepting these funds, because the scriptures say that it's the Lord that loadeth us with daily benefits. All right, and advice given would be, if we again do make it that long, and you just so happen to wake up, or maybe it could be earlier, but advice would be to spend those spend those shekels wisely, because, Jake, man, Jake sees a few extra zeros, man. And like I said, man, just all logic goes out the door. Jake, they don't, they're just like children in a candy shop, Jake don't think much, you know. But nevertheless, again, it is the Lord that loadeth us with daily benefits. Of course, brothers could use those funds, brothers deserve a lot, brothers go through a lot and deserve a lot. So, you're not off for taking those funds if it does come to pass. But just know, man, it's always going to come with something. Like I said, I don't trust it, and again, what to expect if these funds do in fact go out, if this does come to pass, what is going to come with, like I said, it's pretty much a rerun all over again of 2020, 2021. And ever since then, we've just been seeing not the price of goods and supplies going up, but just more devaluing of the dollar, which this is what is going to lead to even more, a more devaluing of the dollar. But real quick, I'm going to grab this in Proverbs 23 and verse 6. Eat thou not the bread of him that hath an evil eye, neither desire thou his dainty meats. Because again, it's always going to come with something, it's always going to come with something. This could be more conditioning to taking of the MOTB. Could be more conditioning, more gradualism. All right. As the talks have been over the years, UBI, universal basic income, which in turn is going to lead to more of people trusting in the system, leaning on the system, trusting the government, leaning on the government, the shadow of Egypt. Right. Which, like I said, there's nothing wrong with, if brothers and sisters, again, wake up and, you have $5,000 in your bank account. There's nothing wrong. You're not going off, but just remember not to be complacent, remember not to lose focus. And this is why Yahweh Shema Shai, he keeps those of us on a fine line as it is, Yahweh Shema Shai, he gives us more than what we're used to having at times. And the Lord takes away, either way, he keeps us on a fine line. Our daily bread, overall, whatever our case may be, we keep it Yahweh Shai, in whatever state that we're in. All right. Knowing that this old system is about to be done away with anyways, and there's going to be a new system. All right. Which the scriptures say money is a defense, so there's going to be a new way of buying and selling. And like I said, this could be more gradualism to that. But nevertheless, as I just read, I'm going to read it again. Proverbs 23 and 6. Eat thou not the bread of him that hath an evil eye, neither desire thou his dainty meats. Because again, you can't trust this devil. Like I said, if he does good, he's going off, and he doeth it unwillingly. But again, it is the Lord that loadeth us with daily benefits. As I quoted real quick, I'm going to grab this real quick. In 2 Edges 9. Because this is the problem. As I again quoted, the Lord is the one that loadeth up with daily benefits. All right. 2 Edges 9. 2 Edges 9 in verse 9. Then shall they be in pitiful case, which now have abused my ways, and they that have cast them away despitefully shall dwell in torments. Because you see, people, mainly our people, are about to be in a very pitiful case. Because again, more gradualism, more dependency on the system, which this system is about to collapse. All right. I like the scriptures go into how, those that put their trust in this system, they're going to be pierced through. There's places like a breach ready to fall. And again, you're too dependent on this system, then you're going to fall with it. You're going to crash with it. All right. It says, verse 10, for such as in their life have received benefits and have not known me. So you see, giving too much credit to the so-called white man, which as it quoted for a third time, or excuse me, fourth time. It's the Lord that loadeth us with daily benefits. You know, the Lord be looking out for his people, but again, Jake gives credit to the so-called white man. All right. So that's why they have to learn the hard way, but nevertheless, just know what this could entail. Like I said, earlier, or maybe I didn't say it, but in case I didn't, because, you be thinking things and, it'd be a lot on Jake mind, Jake be multitasking. You might think it, but you might not say it. So, in case I said it already, I'll say it again about how, again, a rerun of 2020. I remember telling people, certain family members and whatnot, don't get too excited. Because again, getting them checks or getting those shekels is going to lead to the price of everything going up, more devaluing of the dollar. All right. And with that being said, this is what we can expect. If this, again, in fact, does come around, if this does come through, expect more inflation, which inflation, when the longer it goes unchecked, it leads to hyperinflation. All right. So, that's what you can expect if this does come around. All right. The price of everything going up even more, I'm going to go to this, because hyperinflation is talked about in the scriptures. So second Esdras, second Esdras 6 and 22, and suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown, the full storehouses shall suddenly be found empty. Yeah, because eventually, man, it's going to get so bad to the point where, people's living situations, it was bad enough as it is, but it's not to the point where, it's not full blown, looting and, people really tearing the cities up. Because one thing is going to lead to another, and that's what it will lead to. All right. On one day we're going to wake up, and once that hyperinflation hits, man, it's going to be like scenes out of a movie where buildings on fire, because again, it's bad enough people are barely getting by now, but when the living conditions are just pretty much impossible, all right, and people's backs are really against the wall, all right, because again, there's coming a time we're gonna wake up, man, and a gallon of milk is gonna run $100, $1,000, it's gonna be like, what the hell is this, and that's why people are gonna be taking matters into their own hands, pursuing the second Esdras 15, all right. So people are really gonna be, because over the years we've seen these psyops, I'll say, these agent provocateurs, these actors and actresses. But there's coming a time it's going to be the real deal, to the point where, as we know or should know, the order out of chaos. All right. Now, like I said, over the years, we've seen plenty of psyops, but there's going to come a point where it's going to be the real deal, to the point where Esau is going to get out of his control, because he's not in control. Now, the Lord is using him. All right. But overall, Esau is not in control of anything. All right. So it will get to a point where it's going to get out of his control, and it's going to be real looting and, real dystopian, like I said, man, not only are the shelves going to be barely empty, there's going to be barely any food and essentials in the shelves. But like I said, man, those overpriced goods. All right. Like I said, man, just imagine that waking up, man, $500 for a loaf of bread, $1,000, $1,500, you know, it's going to get that bad, just to paint a picture. I'll read on down. Verse, where was I at? Bear with me. I just had it, 2 Ezra 6. Also, I was at verse 22. I'll read on down to verse 23. And the trumpet shall give a sound, which when every man heareth, they shall be suddenly afraid. At that time shall friends fight one against another like enemies, and the earth shall stand in fear with those that dwell therein. The springs of the fountains shall stand still, and in 3 hours they shall not run. So the point being, friends are going to become foes. All right. Once friendly neighbors, man, they're going to turn against one another. All right. It's going to lead to a dog-eat-dog world. All right. Once everyone is backed into a corner. All right. Like I said, man, the more the living conditions become just impossible. All right. As I always say, people are going to go about it the ski mask way, if you know what I'm saying. All right. And they're just going to take what they want, including you women. When you find out in that day you're not Wonder Woman, you're not Gal Gadot. All right. When you women, you're all puffed up and proud. You take your little karate classes or whatnot and thinking you know something, you're going to find out you don't know nothing. All right. Because the demons on these people, man, they're about to be let loose, and it's going to get scary out here, man, to the point where pursuing the 2 Ezra 16, the Spirit of the Lord is really going to have to be on us as a guide, man, because, hey, like I said, in those moments of fear, perplexity, distress, and people don't know which way to turn, whether to go, all right, all logic is going to go out the door, and it's going to get real primal out here. It's going to get real ancient world out here. All right. Because this is what this could lead to. Like I said, man, hyperinflation. All right. Revelation 6. Revelation 6 in verse 5. And when he had opened the third seal, I heard the third beast say, "Come and see." And I beheld, and lo, a black horse, and he that sat on him had a pair of balances in his hand. And I heard a voice in the midst of the four beasts say, "A measure of wheat for a penny, and 3 measures of barley for a penny, and see thou hurt not the oil and the wine." All right, basically going into hyperinflation. All right, because a measure of wheat for a penny. All right, basically a day's wage. Just to put it in a term that you can understand, a day's wage. A day's wage for a loaf of bread. And that's going to have to suffice a family. I remember a brother had a dream. I saw the video the other day about a brother had a dream. Basically people famine was so bad. People, it was obvious that they were eating dung, I'm talking about human dung, that's how bad it was. Families, it's going to get bad out here to the point cannibalism is coming back in a major way. All right. Like it's never been before, and we have accounts of that in the scriptures about people selling basically dove's dung for hyperinflated, or excuse me, overpriced dove's dung, bird shit, a donkey's head, for overpriced donkey head, which that should show you how bad it was. Because pretty much the head of any animal, ain't no meat on that. Ain't much you can get off that, man. Ain't no meat on that. But that's how bad it was. Going back to the siege of Jerusalem, 70 AD. All right, that time period, people were eating the shoe latches off their the leather off their sandals. It was so bad. Well, like I said, cannibalism is coming back in a major way that the world has never seen before. So it's going to get better here. All right. Hell, people are going to be taking chunks out of there. Matter of fact, let me see if I can find that. I haven't brought that out in a while. See if I can find that. Isaiah 9. Isaiah 9 and 19. Through the wrath of Yahweh of hosts is the land darkened, and the people shall be as the fuel of the fire. No man shall spare his brother, and he shall stretch out the right hand and be hungry, and he shall eat on the left hand, and they shall not be satisfied. They shall eat every man his own. They shall eat every man the flesh of his own arm. So you see, all right, people are going to be taking chunks out of their own flesh. You got one in Ezekiel, roughly paraphrasing how father's gonna be eating his sons, mother's gonna be eating the daughters. Roughly paraphrasing, all these things are coming back in a major way because, like I said, we have plenty of accounts of cannibalism. All right, well, all this is coming back in a major way. All right, in a way that we've never seen before, the world has never seen before. So, and that's the spirit 444. Lord willing, we're found with the Lord's mercy, because we don't want to get caught up in this shit, man. We don't want to get caught with what's getting ready to come to these people. That's why the Lord is chastening us, so we're not condemned with the world. All right, because it's going to get bad out here, man. It's going to get real scary. But again, man, one thing is going to lead to another, and these are the type of things to expect. So like I said, with this, I know with me personally, my antennas go up, my spiritual antennas, my quote unquote spidey senses go up. I don't trust it. Now, if I just so happen to get $5,000 in my bank account, I'll take it. Lord willing, to distribute, look at the brothers, whatever the case may be. But other than that, I ain't, the scriptures say we're not ignorant of Satan's devices. So, we don't get too caught up into this shit, but of course we just have to sit back, wait and see how this plays out. But don't get too excited. Don't get your hopes up. There's always going to be some type of strings attached. There's always going to be some type of catch, so this is just my 2 cents. I'm sure brothers have already, pretty much, gone into this. But Lord, one of this was edifying, giving all praises to you. How about Shema Shai? Shalom to you, hopefully.